Welcome back. Now, the Commonwealth Youth Council is the largest youth-led organization in the world, representing over 1.5 billion young people. As it marks 10 years since its formation, the CYC is hosting its first Commonwealth Youth Consultative Dialogue right here in Namibia. We're now joined by Rosy Schaneck, the CYC's regional representative for Africa, as well as Nadia Araes, Namibia's national youth delegate. And they'll share their thoughts on the significance of this dialogue, youth leadership, and the way forward for young people across the Commonwealth. Ladies, good evening and welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, Rosy, just to start with, what does it feel like, for you, and what does it mean to you to, to be able to represent African youth at this, Commonwealth level?
It's actually quite a great honor for me to represent the youth. For lack of words, I'd like to say that it's a feeling I can't describe. It's a feeling I've not known before, and it's a journey that I'm walking right now. But it actually fills me with much joy every night when I go to bed to say that I've done something greater than myself. I've done something greater than where my hand can extend to, and I've created and entered into a platform where I can make dreams a reality for myself and for those that come after me.
Yeah. Well, Nadia, as I mentioned, it's the first time that, this dialogue will be happening in Namibia, the Youth Consultative Dialogue. So that must be quite exciting.
Definitely. I think it is an opportunity that Namibian youth would definitely benefit from. I think it's a first, and I think it taking place in Namibia means a lot for us. So the excitement is definitely at heart.
Yeah. Rosy, why is this first Commonwealth Youth Consultative Dialogue, such a crucial moment for the CYC?
It's a crucial moment for the CYC because, first of all, I'd like to highlight that this is the second time that the Commonwealth actually rests with the African region, and since its formation in 2013 in Sri Lanka, it has become a defining moment for us to really establish ourselves within the multilateral space to decide what it is that we're trying to advocate for and how we're going to get there. Of course, we've identified some barriers that we got along the way, and it's because of that need that we decided, you know what, it's about time that we charted, reposition ourselves to set ourselves strategically in order for us to get where we want to get, in order for us to get access into the rooms that we wanted to get. There are a lot of times where the ministers and people would tell us, you need to bring your own chair to the table. If there's no table, you build your own table.
Yeah.
And it's inspiration from there that we decided to draw to say, okay, how can we revamp the CYC to be a modern, strategic, chartered organization that can really stand for the 1.5 billion voices across the world? And it's within this consultative dialogue that we want to bring that to birth, to revamp the CYC to be a modern advocate, youth-led leadership body that is more than just advocacy, that it's committed to impact that one can see visible on the ground, visible in multilateral spaces, visible within, cutting across, also enabling with the differently enabled, and just making sure that all of the youth that are aged within our target population really do get that access and that representation that we say we have.
That we say we have, yeah. Nadia, what role do you think it is that, Namibian young people can play in shaping the future of the Commonwealth?
I always say, and it's quite a fact, that Namibian youth factly form part of the Commonwealth youth. We pay our dues. So I think as a representative council, we want to ensure, and I think in extension the Namibian government wants to ensure that young people benefit from Commonwealth youth programs. And what it means to young people is that when we have such an opportunity to shape youth discourse, we are saying that we want to ensure how youth engagement and how youth participation looks like on a country level. We want to shape that. Why? Because we want to ensure that youth engagement, youth participation go beyond the panel discussions, go beyond the conference room, that really our inputs are implemented, and we can say, oh no, we said this and there is it.
How are you personally contributing to the success of this consultative dialogue, Nadia?
Firstly, it was a really great opportunity when the Commonwealth Youth Council had decided that Namibia be the host, and ensuring that I play my part as a national youth delegate in the planning process. I had decided deliberately and personally that I ensure that young people, Namibian young people, are well represented. Not only that we have our international guests and ensure their participation, but Namibian young people participate. Thus, we have entrusted the National Youth Council, and through my office and through my assignment, and we've entrusted the National Youth Council to ensure that its affiliate organizations as well as the 14 regions are represented at national, at the consultative dialogue.
I want to know, Rosy, what are some of the challenges that young people face across Africa? And I also want to know if it's the same across the board. You know, do the young people within Namibia face the same challenges as young people within West Africa, within North Africa, etc.?
One of the things that I can definitely point out within the African region is access and competition. You know, getting into a space is very difficult if people don't know who you are. So there's that barrier that stands where you need to constantly prove yourself time and again. And then you find some people working into it without even having to lift a finger.
And this is access into different industries across the board.
Different industries across the board, whether it's education, entrepreneurship, even religion for that matter. It's predominant, cut across. There's no exclusion or any. So what that does is it places a sort of burden within the person, the individual, to ask, what is wrong with me? How come is it that Nadia gets that and I don't get that? So that actually also brings that sort of competition amongst one another that's not really healthy, which leads to the then problem that we have within our modern day, which is the mental health. If we have to go to countries within the Asian region or within the European region, they are much more advanced. You know, everything, even global opportunities are usually given towards the global north as opposed to the global south. So as a person from the global south, you have to work twice as hard as somebody from the global north. So that just not only tires you, it actually exhausts you and it makes you question yourself. And once you start questioning yourself, you lose your focus as to what you're capable of. So this is why it's always essential for us to always advocate for what people, you know, how you see yourself as an individual, your self-identification, your self-love, your self-admiration. That is why that becomes a central cornerstone for us to advocate for, because once you know who you are aware of your potential, you are aware of your past, you know who you are, and you're destined for greatness. And once you have actually ignited that force within you, that's the only way you'd be able to unlock your potential in order for you to bring forth what is really within you.
Nadia, what do you hope you know, this dialogue will bring forth for young Namibians?
First and foremost, it is an opportunity for young people to engage in knowledge transfer, to network. We as the Commonwealth Youth, we advocate so much for cross-border collaboration. And I think opportunities such as this avail and bring that forth. So I think for young people is to grasp the opportunity, network. I think building a community is very important in the advocacy and leadership work that we do. Ensuring that you have a community that you can reach out to, cross-border collaboration. What I see is that what Botswana, for example, has succeeded when it comes to youth employment, I could use that and strategize it in Namibia, make it local, so that I could try and win the battle of youth unemployment, for example.
What areas of youth development in Namibia do you think needs the most attention?
I think for me personally, at the top of my head, like I had said previously, is youth employment. Our young people are very skilled. But when we speak about youth employment, it's not only the corporate world. We need young creatives that are given the opportunity to create. We need young people that create, young people that are also employed. But when I speak of also employment, I think the employability of young people. Because what you have is a lot of graduates are theoretically equipped, but when it comes to the practical side of things, application becomes a problem. So I think employability of young people is also very important. I think the inclusion of marginalized communities, our indigenous communities, within the mainstream economic and political sphere of the country is also very important. We need representation. The previous Deputy Minister for Indigenous marginalized communities would say CPR. CPR is consultation, representation, and participation. We need to ensure the inclusion of these indigenous communities, because it is nothing if it's not with us. It can't be for us if it's not with us.
What areas do you think needs, youth development within Namibia, Rosy?
What I'd like to highlight is the fact that the youth don't have spaces within themselves to manufacture things, clothing, the clothing that I'm wearing. All of this that I'm basically wearing here is not even manufactured here. So things, we have bead, we have eggshells, we have seashells that we get from the ocean. Just going into that creative industry to say, what can we tap into that we have readily available in order for us to really bring forth change and creation within Namibia. Some of the stable foods that we also have, just that manufacturing, taking it from this to that, dairy products. I feel like there's a lot that we can tap into as the Namibian market in terms of our self-food security. And once we can get the youth to tap into that through the Youth Empowerment Fund, I'm sure that money would not go to waste, because we'd have youth that are into food, would have youth that are into clothing, we have youth that are into shelter, we have youth that would be into everything in order for the economy to grow and for the money to circulate within the country without us having to depend on other countries. Yes, international trade is good, but it becomes a problem where there is an economic deficit when you import more than you export. So that is the gap that we should be looking towards closing, and that is one of the things that we hope to bring to fruition through our rep here that is shining at an international stage. So
yeah, definitely.
That is definitely one of the things that I'd like to highlight. Also, just to add would be some skills enhancements. Diversity of skills. I think the curriculum can touch a bit more in terms of it becoming more relative to the economy that we're going into. We're going into AR, we're going into creative industries, we're going into innovation. So if we could have those modules within the schools as a part and parcel of the school curriculum, so by the time the kids or the learners grow up, it's something that they've started with. It has been groomed, it has been nurtured, so that by the time it comes to blooming stage, it's everything's like spring, where you see everything just blooming open. And those are one of the two that I'd like to highlight. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, just lastly, when is the dialogue happening, Nadia?
It's happening from the 4th until the 8th of August, right here in Windhoek, Windhoek Country Club Resort.
Fantastic. Ladies, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate you being here, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Nina.
When we come back after this brief break, we have some more conversations lined up here on the Daily Roundup. Stay with us.